Uh, one thing that there's this laugh out loud moment, and again, I don't want to give about too much away, but I think there's a good question that'll help people out of it, where you talk about how boring it is, or how boring it would be to sit there and read the back of a shampoo bottle. But isn't that what so many people come to memory techniques for, is to deal with the fact that they do have to memorize information that is as boring as the back of the shampoo bottle. And I want to cross index this with a thing that you do that I think is sort of allowed by your character and the fantasy sort of elements of the book, or it's not really fantasy, but adventure and exploration, is that you point out this is going to be a long and hard adventure, which you normally don't get away with in a memory book. You got to be like, this is so easy, and this is going to be laser fast and fun and so forth. But so I wonder, how do we deal with the fact that a lot of information is that dry and boring, and then is that sort of this is going to be a long and hard adventure? Is that just playing to the genre, so to speak, or is that more coming from your sports or a like performance background with climbing and that sort of stuff? Where in that world, we know from research that coaches will find that people do respond better to this kind of, this is going to be the hardest training today and you're going to work your butt off and like all that sort of stuff. So I'm just sort of wondering where you place all that stuff, and then how can people adapt that mental model so that shampoo bottles aren't so boring?
Yeah, no, I think I came from it, like you said, more of like the coaching side of things. Because I think I follow that up when I say it's going to be very difficult. I'm like, don't worry though, I'm with you. Like there's the character there is a guide, a mentor to you as the reader. So while I try to make it sound like it's challenging, I also say, it's going to be fine. I'm with you, and I'm going to teach you everything along the way. Because I do think it is important to, yes, the techniques can make things, super fast, laser sharp, whatever. But I often sometimes hate when, memory teachers say that, because it's such an easy hook and it's not the whole story. There is a lot of work involved in getting a strong memory. Maybe not so much work, but dedication, right? So you got to be, and consistency. Working on it in little bits every day. You don't have to spend hours, but just a little bit. And that's really what I'm saying is like, it's a long journey in the sense that like you've now introduced this into your life and you got to kind of stick with it if you want to see the results.
Right.
It's not too hard if you do that, but the hard part is sticking to that. And yeah, in terms of the shampoo bottle, it's funny that I used to love that line, and I still did when I put it in the book, but I don't know if you've ever read the back of a Old Spice shampoo bottle, though. Have you?
If I have read Old Spice specifically, I don't remember.
Because the newer ones, they have these weird commercials, right? That
Right.
I think are pretty good. Like, it's kind of some of the stuff I kind of see in my memory palaces. It's so bizarre. But their shampoo bottles, actually, if you ever read them, are hilarious and super memorable. And I've actually read some of those recently and been like, I should change what I said about shampoo bottles because these guys rewrote that narrative. But yeah, I mean, as you know, with memory techniques, the goal is for most people to take the dry and difficult, everyday, mundane stuff that you need to memorize, but just can't get it to stick, and make it not so boring and dry. And yeah, I mean, so yeah, I just tried to choose an example by saying the back of a shampoo bottle to try to think of the most dry, readable thing out there.
Right.
There's
Right.
probably something more boring than that, but that came to mind.
Well, yeah, I mean, I unfortunately have to read them myself recently because, I'm getting not older per se, but starting to have all these weird health things. And it's just like, is it a toxin in this bottle? And, I'm doing gene analysis and like it's, ABCG8 gene and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, it is, even myself, I have to remind myself, no, this can be fun. This can be exciting and so forth.
Right.
So it is a concern and it can be overwhelming.